Which can't come. We're live.
I know.
Hey, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
and we are the Markout Movie Podcasters. And today we are going to be discussing Spider-Man Far From Home. This is the first film post Avengers Endgame. Uh, and I can't wait to get into it. But as we do every week before we get into the main discussion, I'd like to ask Brandon what it is that he has watched this week. Oh
I mean,
Lord.
I rewatched Elvis yesterday. I still feel it's a very energetic, beautiful tragedy. But that's the only thing new, I think. No. I finally did. What's that movie called on Disney? Loki? Not Loki. Loca? Is that it? Luca?
Luca.
Okay, I
Oh
finally
yeah,
did that. I finally saw that. I thought that
the
was really
Pixar
good.
film.
Some people were complaining that it was like a male's version of Little Mermaid, but I didn't feel that way. Um, Buford's back with us today.
Oh, is he? Hey Bilfer, what up, bud? All right,
Buford.
Bilfer, you don't know how to. Yeah, you can read. You can read well. All right,
But it's
Brandon.
not his name. It's not his name, Aaron. How you doing, DeHobbit?
All right. So let me tell you what I watched. I finished Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I enjoyed it. I thought it was slow at some point. They did a lot of like creative uh, flexes to fix George Lucas's prequels to kind of make things flow right. But nonetheless, I thought it was decent. It was decent. I got he said Vilfer says y'all got funny streaming schedules. Well,
It's
we
all
try to
on
do it
Aaron,
on
man. It's all on
we try to
Aaron.
do it on Fridays, but yeah, we don't have a specific time frame. Um, I get off work at 4:30, so it takes me. I try to get on as soon as we get in. As soon as I get off work, just try to get on. I need to actually say, "Hey, this is the time we go live," but I don't know. I like to keep people on their toes. But yeah, so I watched that, and then I watched. I binged what's it called, The Last Kingdom on Netflix about Utrecht Bebenber, as he said, Utrecht Bebenber. It's about a Utrecht of Bebenber. It's about a guy who's a Saxon who ended up getting taken as a slave by the Danes, which is Vikings, and and was raised essentially as a Dane. So he's like the best of both worlds, and he's like this really
Moses.
awesome warrior, huh?
He's Moses.
Pretty much like Moses, except for
Yeah.
he wasn't raised as a baby. He was just a wee lad. But yeah, uh, it's an interesting little show. It's on Netflix. It wrapped up this past year with the final season, and they will come out with another. They're going to come out with a movie called "The Death of Seven Kings" or something like that, or "Seven Kings Must Die" or something like that, which is the movie uh, epilogue to the show. So yeah, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little show. I actually had fun watching it. Um, yeah, and it got me interested in Viking now like history, which is interesting. That in itself is very interesting. And so now I'm going on to. So I paused. So let me say that I paused Star Trek again
Of course you
because
did.
I'm finding other things that's just much more interesting. I am watching
He's never gonna finish
Vikings.
it, people. I'm telling you, he's not gonna finish it.
I'm gonna try, but Vikings. I watch Vikings, and then I am going. I'm also watching the Underground Railroad, which is a show adapted from a book about like the Underground Railroad from slavery to freedom. But it's the hard thing to watch. It's very traumatic for people that it's like. has a history of slavery, so it's a weird. It's hard to watch, man. So I'm trying, but it's a hard show to watch. Bilfer says, "Your thoughts on Marvel will debut the first gay Spider-Man in the upcoming Age of
You remember?
Spider-Verse." Who
What was
would that
that?
be? Because like he said something about the first gay Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I thought in comic books there was Miles Morales. I thought he was gay or bisexual at least.
I thought he was gay
But
myself, but I mean,
yeah,
you know, I don't. It's the world we live in, right? I mean, people had an issue with it on Lightyear. If that's what they're doing, I'm sure people are gonna have an issue with it on this film. I don't think it'll change if people did in fact have an issue with it, and not that it wasn't Tim Allen or wasn't connected to not Star Wars, the Toy Story franchise.
Star Wars, huh?
I got tongue tied just like you did reading this question. It makes no difference to me personally. It's Spider-Man. I'll watch, just like I watched Lightyear because it was buzz. So
Yeah,
I'm not be
yeah,
prejudiced to anyone. So
yeah. So my beliefs as a Christian, I would say I have beliefs, but as far as like in film and it 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 honestly doesn't it doesn't add to nor take away from a specific character, I guess.
but I do have
I
a funny
don't really.
story after you finish.
Yeah.
I
No,
have a
I was
funny
just gonna
story.
say. Yeah, I just think that no heroes preferences or whatever. It just anything like that always got in the way. Like I never like the relationship between Superman and Lois Lane. I felt like it does it doesn't make sense. That's why I love Invincible because it makes sense. But anyway, but yeah, I just think that I don't care. Who cares?
But people will care. I'll tell you why. I went and watched Elvis yesterday again, and in the previews, this new movie, I think it's called Bros, if I'm not mistaken, about the gay relationships, and these women in the row in front of me, when it showed them kissing, they literally all four of them did it. Oh no! It was just like, so people will have a problem with it. I just thought it was the
Hmm.
funniest thing I've seen, and watching trailers. Just, they made a sound while covering their face. It was just great.
I wonder. I wonder if they covered their faces when Elvis like seduced a young underage girl.
Did not
I don't.
seduce a young. It's completely
Come on,
false.
we know Priscilla was 16, if 16 at the time that they don't come at me.
He was
I'm just
21.
saying.
21
No, she was not. She was not. She was not. Priscilla was
when
a
they had sex.
underage
He was
girl.
21.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
He wasn't
He's
even in
the
Graceland when she moved in, man. He was in
he
Hollywood.
was he was the
Talking to
he was
somebody
like
that knows.
he's like the white version of Chuck Berry, but the only difference is he got away with it and Chuck didn't. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, nothing against his music. Nothing against his music and his contribution.
Being
But
uneducated right now, Aaron.
I'm being uneducated.
Uh-huh.
Brandon's he's getting heated. But I'm just saying.
I'm
I
not
don't
heated.
know.
I'm just saying.
So you saying Priscilla wasn't?
Oh, she
You
was in
said she
Graceland
was.
when she was 16. He just wasn't there. He was in
So
Hollywood.
you saying that he didn't? So what about him? His having relations with these girls, taking their virginity, and then losing interest. Is that a real thing?
They say it is. They say. I can't say. I mean, I wasn't there, but they say, yeah, they say it's a true thing.
Chuck D once said in "Fight the Power," he said, wait a
Like the
minute, have you ever heard of? It's a song by Public Enemy. But
I know it's a song, Aaron.
"Fight the Power." He says lyrics. Let's go to the lyrics. I don't want to misquote him. he says Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant S to S to me. You see, straight up racist. That sucker was simple and plain. And then Flavor Flav says, "Mother F him and John Wayne." Well, your thought? I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you.
Everybody's got their opinion. I mean, but hey, they got their opinion. Now, who said this? Who was the first one you said?
Chuck D from Public Enemy.
Ah.
And then that's all part of the song "Fight the Power." But yeah, I just want to see what your thoughts was. I'll be interested to hear your.
Everyone's got
we might do a reaction video one day of you watching "Fight the Power" for the first time in your life, seeing your reaction to it. That'd be hilarious. But anyway, all right, let's move on to anything else you want to say that you watched before we.
I did watch The Raid and Raid 2.
How was that?
The Raid's awesome. Raid 2, not so much for me. It was repetitive. But I guess you could say they both were, but I was more interested in the first one because of the area it was at. These 20 elites cops get, kind of in a sticky situation. And the action is phenomenal. The story's thin, but the action was phenomenal. Some of the way they shot certain scenes was just amazing to watch. I never really seen martial arts filmed kind of like that. But the sequel, I didn't like it as much. He likes it. Of course you do.
Super says Raid 2 was better. I've never seen either film, so
way too long.
I can't comment. But all right, so let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes, if you will, in my Dusty Rhodes voice. We are talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Came out 2019. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man must step up to take on the new threats in the world that has changed forever. I would say Spider-Man, my synopsis for the movie is, after the death of Tony Stark and the events of Endgame, Spider-Man struggles to accept the mantle of filling the shoes of Iron Man in a world without him, or something like that. So, because I think that's the main thing behind the movie is how does him not even being able to process the death of Iron Man, of Tony, but yet he's being expected to fill the void. So he's not having the time to even process what has happened. And so that's what I got. That's the big theme I got from it. Starring Tom Holland, returning as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. We have Samuel Jackson and Nick Fury. We have Jake Gyllenhaal quitting back, aka Mysterio. The very beautiful Marissa Tomei as May Parker. I have a thing for Marissa. I can't say. I understand why Happy does too. John Favreau is Happy Hogan. Zendaya is MJ, and then you have Ned Leeds, played by Jacob Battalion, and then the rest of these other folks that's in the movie. JB Smoove pops back up, which I love JB. I'm a big JB Smoove fan, so he's the one teacher that's talking about witches. I love him. He's one of my favorite dudes. So he's in Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he when he came on the show, he made a show. It was already a great show, but he just steals every scene that he's in on that show. And so I just love me some JB Smoove.
You love you some JB.
Yeah, I do. You got the numbers?
I do. It's got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 4 out of 5 on Common Sense, 85% like this on Google. It's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 95 audience score. So it's certified. It's pretty much everybody likes this movie. But how do you feel, Aaron?
How do I feel about this movie? Actually, I loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah, I think that I'm not gonna give it a 5, obviously, but I'll wait to the end to give my marks. But first thing I would like to talk about is um, just the feeling of you got to think that everything that um, Peter has dealt with, that he is by far uh, just feeling grief and not really wanting to, not feeling that he's up to taking the role as not Iron Man, but just being the next guy to be
Yeah.
the next leader of the Avengers, so to speak. Because there's a void. You have Iron Man gone, you have Cap gone, you have Black Widow gone, you have Clint's retired, uh, Thor's off Earth, you have Falcon and Winter Soldier somewhere. You have and you have War Machine, Rhodey. I mean, you don't really have much by way of the Avengers. So
Mm-hmm.
you have Spider-Man, and he's wanting to be a kid, and I can understand that.
Yeah. I mean, Far From Home is a movie about fake news. Spider-Man is the regular people, and Mysterio is fake news. Always crafting a narrative to trick Spider-Man to believe lies.
Well, well, you know what? And I noticed that theme as far as like because MJ says everyone believes what's on the television or something like that, or somebody's they're talking about fake news and media and stuff, but everybody believes what is being fed to them. It reminds me a lot of what's happening in The Boys season 3 with the Vault Network and the way that they spin news. But yeah, it's just that everybody wants to believe what is being said, and nobody wants to check. So you believe it because you see it on TV. Oh man, there was another attack in uh in London or France or wherever, with France, right? Yeah, there's an attack and you see this happening and this, and you believe it because you see it on TV, but there's smoke and mirrors. And I want to ask you this question. Do you feel that Quentin Beck is digging himself in a hole because he's wanting to be the next Iron Man essentially. He wants everybody to believe that he's going to be the next Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
But he really doesn't have what it takes if there was another threat to come to Earth. He literally doesn't have anything that's going to be able to he it's
Nah,
a it, he has a dumb motivation is what I'm saying. In my opinion, he has a very dumb motivation.
yeah, I mean, watching this and seeing how it all plays out, I agree with you. I don't think he has what it takes to be Iron Man or anyone really significant. What he does have though is mind control. He does have that. So I think he's a good villain for Spider-Man though. But as far as being a hero to anyone, no, I mean, I don't think his mind control would work with a villain like a Thanos or any villain really. I mean, I don't know, because Peter's vulnerable. He's very trusting. You don't think he's very trusting?
Hey man, you are breaking up, buddy. Something serious. I don't know what happened to you. I'm still here.
I am too.
Brandon is frozen in time, like Elsa and Anna. He's back now. Okay. Uh, what were you saying before you went all computer
Well, it
animated
didn't
there?
do that for me, but I was saying that Peter is all vulnerable, so it kind of works with him. Why he can be controlled through the mind like that. But all right, am I good now?
Yeah, you
Well,
kind of still do a little max headroom stuff, a little jerkiness. But yeah, it's an old reference. If people don't get it, you're just too young
I
to
think it's
even
your
be on my
laptop.
channel. I'm not on a laptop. I'm on my phone. So
Well, it's not doing
uh,
anything here, so
Belfer says Brandon looks good, sounds good. Hey, you got your fan there, Brandon. Congratulations, you turned him. Uh,
maybe he's
but
just being honest.
yeah, well, look at you, Mister Conceited. But
No, I'm not.
yeah,
I'm talking
uh,
about the technical issue here.
right. Okay, no. Uh, I was gonna mention though also. how spot on was Quentin Beck. Like they made a script to say that he's from another universe, and
Yeah.
he had no idea that there's literally truly a multiverse, that it was a real thing within the MCU. Had no idea
Yeah.
that that was a thing, and so and come think of it, I think ironically the verse there, the whatever the number he said that our Earth was is the literal number that they consider in MCU. Belfort can let me know if I'm wrong because I don't know. But I think that's the case. Uh, I know in the Marvel comics, I think it's the main Earth. It's Earth Prime. But yeah, man, he was spitballing. But hey, what you think about seeing Ralphie again from Christmas Story?
Oh, he was in this. I don't know what he looks like as an adult.
He's the dude with the bald head, and he was controlling the computer.
Oh,
He's the
okay.
one that he was also in the first Iron Man movie.
First Iron Man, yeah, because they did a flashback with him and Jeff Bridges. It didn't do anything for me. I mean, I didn't know it was Ralphie either. So then again, it still doesn't do anything for me because I don't like A Christmas Story like that. I've seen it. I was overexposed with Christmas Story as a child, and it doesn't have the same effect that it does others. I mean, when I say I was overexposed, I mean I really was. It was literally the only thing we would watch on Christmas.
Is it because you only had one channel and you grew up in the ghettos?
Yes, Aaron, I grew up in the ghettos.
I'm just playing with you. But yeah, no, yeah, Christmas Story for me was like a tradition because it was he said fragile. It's like that's great. That's that's a line from the movie. But yeah, that movie we grew up because it was like on TBS or whatever, like constantly. Yeah,
remember it
but
very well.
oh, this guy's now trolling us with lines from the movie. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I wish I had.
Ho ho. But that movie, man. But I like seeing him. I'm like, hey, Ralphie. The guy ain't working much. He's like Fred Savage. He's like, you're like, hey, but then that's about it. Although I would mark out more if I seen Fred Savage than I would Ralphie. I mean, at least I know Fred's name. I can't tell you this kid's name.
Well, Fred got canceled, so Fred won't be seen much more.
Oh, what did he do wrong?
Sexually harassed somebody on the Wonder Year show again.
What would you say?
I'm not sure if it was sexual harassment this time, but it was harassment.
Yeah, I guess Fred just shot his eye out trying to sexually harass some lady. And it's
the reason that it got canceled the first go around. He harassed someone.
I was thinking that this remake got canceled because like nobody watched it.
No, it's still going. He's just no longer part of it. Yeah,
it just seems like I watched the first episode and it didn't win me over, so I didn't come back. Anyway,
it really wasn't Wonder Years. I mean, it's more people say it was the Chris Rock show is like that. I can't say I never seen it, but it wasn't Wonder Years from what I remember. So I watched a few episodes, but I never really could get into it.
what was your thoughts on Far From Home?
I mean, I like the story. I just wish, I wish Beck would have been a good guy. I really do. He comes in with a blaze of thunder, man. I was so into his character at the beginning. And then you kind of find out what's going on. It's like mind control, making. And then there you find out more with Sam Jackson's character and the girl from How I Met Your Mother at the end. And I didn't like that at all. But the overall story, I dug it. But
That they're scrolls?
Yeah.
You didn't like that they're scrolls?
I
didn't mind it. I mean, it kind of ties back into Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And then they have the Secret Invasion that's going to be coming out, I think, next year. So it's cool. I've accepted the fact that there's scrolls in this universe. And Yeah. Although what I didn't like, although his ability to like make people see what he thinks that they want to see or whatever, like illusions,
Yeah,
uh, it's so realistic, man. He got to the point where he made him think that it was, you know, that it was Samuel Jackson, that it was Nick Fury
yeah,
asking him for information. But I knew when he said, "Who else you tell?" I'm like, "Oh no, that's still him. That's him
yeah,
trying to find out." You
yeah.
know.
I like that aspect to it, and I love the relationship between Ned and Peter and MJ. I love all that. I could actually watch a Spider-Man film without anything going on, like with Spider-Man. Though that trio, I think it's perfect. Just perfect chemistry there.
Well, there. So
But
the basis behind uh the Spider-Man trilogy so far is they wanted to recreate or recapture the feelings that you get when you watch an old classic John Hughes film. So
hmm
they wanted to uh, make you that invested in the characters that you could just watch them. Like with Breakfast Club, nothing really truly interesting happens in that movie. It's just the characters and their interaction with one another, and that makes that movie so memorable and lovable. Same with Ferris Bueller. I know this, not everybody likes Ferris, but I like Ferris Bueller. Same with Weird Science and the other John Hughes films. I think he has a way of creating characters that no matter what's going on, you're there for the characters. Even in Weird Science, even though Lisa can do magic or do things, grant wishes or whatnot, you still like the characters themselves. You like Wyatt, and you like seeing them. And
yeah,
so I think that uh, the director of Spider-Man, I think that they did a great job with creating characters that, like you said, if there's no action going on, and they would just go in high school together and getting into teen angst together, you'll still be interested to watch.
yeah. It'd be a great time. And Tom Holland even said he wants to do that at some point. And I don't think Marvel's ever going to do that, but
Read that.
Jake Gyllenhaal be gaslighting Tom Holland because he wrote, I meant Tom Holland. Yes, he
uh,
does gaslight him.
were
Oh
you
my
trying
God.
to say Toby Maguire? Yeah, yeah, he does gaslight him for sure. I thought about that as well. In watching that, I'm like, oh yeah, he totally is like, uh, just nudging him on, and the whole, who gives, don't, if Tony Stark give you $1 zillion pair of glasses, do not give it to some stranger you just met 2 days ago. Don't
That's my point that
do
he's so
that.
trusting, though. He's a kid.
Yeah.
So I feel like something's happening.
Oh, I'm good. Oh, my wife texts me. But yeah, so I got, tell them about your tell them a little bit about the plot, what's going on in this movie. I'm gonna step away for just a second. Go ahead.
All right. So basic. Well, we know what's going on. I mean, Mysterio. Now you can't even see me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God! But you can hear
Okay.
me. Oh, there I'm back. So, um, yeah. Tony gives us these glasses that, and they're controlled by Edith, and and Mysterio wants it. Obviously, we know that. But here's the thing that I like though, and it's kind of skipping forward, but I like this scene when they figure out that it's Mysterio behind everything. MJ figures it out. When she figures out that it's Peter is Spider-Man. I really like that. Going into that, diving into that, and he's trying to say, "No, it's not me. It's not me," and he's coming up with all these excuses why it's not. And then one of the drones kind of goes off, and they see what Mysterio's been doing, and it's like, "Okay, I am Spider-Man." And he's like, "You're not joking. No, I was only 67% sure that you were." But I really like that. I love the chemistry between MJ and Peter Parker, and it's such a beautiful chemistry they have going. And he's back, and I was just telling him about MJ and Peter, their chemistry.
Yeah, I heard everything.
And the drone, and and you're back. How'd everything go with the wife?
They're good.
I'm not so
okay.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she's texting me stuff. I cannot respond to it as she's texting me. Anyway, so yeah.
Did you like that scene as well with MJ and Peter and the drone?
Yeah. I love the whole like where he wanted to tell her they loved her. And she's like, and you're Spider-Man. When you about to tell me you're Spider-Man? I love how nonchalantly she was about it. Like, oh yeah, you're totally Spider-Man. And he's like, I'm not Spider-Man. She's like, yeah, dude, you're totally Spider-Man. You're about to tell me that, right? God, that is who you are. I like that. But yeah. What else, Aaron? Yeah, I do think that Jake Gyllenhaal's character, though. Let's see if he says something else. Nope. So Jake Gyllenhaal, I want to say something about him. I think that he does an excellent job in this movie as just a character, regardless if he's a villain or a hero. He does a great job as just this character, and I love how everything's attached back to, even in death, Tony Stark is still ticking people off, even in death. He's still creating villains. Tony has successfully created most of the MCU villains by some way, shape, or form. If you think about it, the villain that he faced, I think, obviously, well, he also, through Stark technology, they created Captain America and the Super Serum. But yeah, I think that he created the villain in the Iron Man 2, who had beef with him. The
Definitely
villain, Iron Man 3. There is the
Age of Ultron. It's his
Age
fault.
of Ultron. Yep. It's his fault.
Now Thanos is not his fault.
No, Thanos was inevitable.
Yeah.
Thanos was inevitable. Sis, you guys feel Jake Gyllenhaal phoned home his performance as? No, I didn't think they phoned home his performance. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did a pretty good job. Actually, I thought he had fun with the role. Honestly, that's how I took it. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I have never seen Jake Gyllenhaal, phone in anything. I feel he's an actor that gives 100%, no matter what he's doing. I haven't seen all of his work, but the ones I have seen, I feel like he's strong in everything. I feel he's strong in this. I feel he's one of the better parts of this movie. In all honesty, you take away Peter and MJ and somewhat Ned.
Yep.
I feel Jake Gyllenhaal's next in line. It's the best part of the movie. I don't care for the whole Aunt May and Happy relationship, though. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not even realistic, and we know it's not.
You think Aunt May won't go for Happy? Happy seems
no
like
way
nice
she goes for Happy.
Shoot,
no way.
Go for some
She's
Aunt
gonna break
May.
Happy's heart, and you know it.
Oh, well, she can break my heart. I like Aunt May. I'm partial to Marissa Tomei.
You don't want to get your heart broken, Aaron.
It's worth it. It's Marissa Tomei.
You think it's worth it? It's not.
But yeah, I live. But anyway, I do want to talk about something that I thought was like, I love when he got Edith, and he was like, the drone felt like he needed to kill that one dude, Logan or whatever the guy's name is.
You don't want to read his next question or comment. I told you didn't.
Oh well, yeah. Well, no, I liked her death in the next one, in the next film for them. In the sense of because it's gonna help make Peter Spider-Man for sure, for real. Make him push him towards his destiny. So it's needed. It's a necessary death in order to make him who he needs to be. So that's fine. Every great hero needs a great death to push them to be their greatest form of themselves, whether it's Batman and his parents, Superman and his daddy, Peter and his uncle or his aunt, or I don't know. I can't think of nobody. Peter Quill and his mama's death. I don't know. Who cares? So the
How can
needs of
you
death.
say who cares? Man, you've turned against Chris Pratt like the internet has.
No, no, I like Chris. I like Chris. I think that he's foolish in Endgame, in Infinity War. I haven't let him. I haven't
He's
let him
emotional.
slide.
He's not
I
foolish.
haven't
He's
let.
emotional.
I haven't let him slide off of that, man. Bro, you had one job, bro. You messed it up. We could have all went a shawarma
Okay. Someone kills
afterwards.
the love of your life. What are you gonna do?
Not hit them when they try to get the glove off. Get the glove and then hit them. Beat them after they get the glove off. You can beat them all day long and keep them in a time loop and just keep beating the man. That's fine. But you can't beat
Denzel would
this
have hit him
man.
too.
Huh?
I said Denzel would have hit him too. I know how much you love Denzel. Denzel would have
Yeah.
lost his emotions
Denzel would
too.
have waited till he got the glove off. And then, like he said, now you're mine. Now
No,
you're
he would
mine.
have been screaming, "King Kong ain't got on me."
No, no. No, and I guess you never seen American Gangster. He didn't scream. He just shot the man. He just shoots. He said, "Now what you gonna do?" He kills Idris Elba. You shit the
Oh,
movie.
and having a little
That's
fun,
cute.
you take it away.
That's what I do. I'm a fun taker. But anyway, I do like that he smacks Flash, and, I start rolling when he slaps him. He like he try to get the glasses, and he slaps him and knocks him out. I thought that was so funny. I don't know why, but I started cracking up. But all in all, I don't like Flash's character. By the way, um,
Yeah,
I would take the glove off. Peter Quill is an idiot. Thank you.
yeah, that was
Good for
clarified
no
in
reason.
Endgame. He's an idiot, but he's a fun idiot.
Oh, but he shouldn't even be. He's not invited to no Avenger party. I'll be like, I'll go to Peter Quill next time I see him and say, Iron Man dies because of you. It is your fault that Iron Man died.
Well, that's not true.
Oh, it is true. If he
It's
had
not
not,
true.
if
They
he,
Iron Man
if he,
died because they let Loki get the other briefcase.
no, no, Iron Man died because Peter smacked Thanos.
You're
If
just gonna
Peter had,
gloss
not
over
Peter, yeah,
Loki gets that
Peter
stone.
Quill, Peter Quill smacked Thanos. If he had not smacked Thanos, him smacking Thanos led to them not getting the gauntlet off. And was by not getting the gauntlet off, Thanos ended up snapping. When he ended up snapping, they end up having to go back in time. And then Loki takes the thing with Jig and he booms and he has no show. And then
And
next
that's
thing you know,
why
after that,
Iron Man actually
uh,
dies.
Iron Man dies because Peter slapped Thanos. It's all connected. If this was on a board with strings and yarn and stuff and pictures and stuff, the conspiracy, everything points back to Peter Quill slapping Thanos. Bilford, back me up. I'm saying. I'm saying. I'm right. But
You are
anyway,
asking a guy that trolls our podcast to back you up.
oh, he knows I'm right. He feels it. He knows I'm right. But anyway, uh, let's get back to the emotionally unstable Peter Parker. Um,
Yes. Let's
so
get
yeah.
back to Peter Parker.
So anything else that you enjoyed in this film,
I mean, you know, I mean,
or you wanted to discuss it all?
specifically, I mean, yes, when he pretty much creates this horror film for Peter Parker, everything
Oh,
goes
it's great.
dark. I love that scene. All that, I love that. That was great. You know, mentally attacking him as well as physically attacking him. I mean, it was just, you know, I take it back. He was a pretty good villain.
Yeah, the thing.
He's not a super villain.
No,
But he plays with your mind. He's good in that way.
this is how I feel about that scene there. I felt that I love the horror aspect of it. The corpse of Iron Man and everything. I love the horror aspect. And you feel like you're trapped in there like Peter Parker is, like Spiderman is. You feel trapped, like it's very exhausting.
Yeah.
And then then when he thinks he's out, and Nick Fury saves him and everything, you breathe a sigh of relief, but then you realize he's still in it. It's like waking up from a bad dream, but you're still in the dream. Have you ever had that? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You think you woke up, but you're still in the thing, huh?
I've had quite a few of those dreams.
Yeah, me too. I had a bad dream the other night that a witch came from my wall. It was the weirdest thing. She started off as a little like a puppet witch, and then like when I moved in one part of my room, the witch was a full grown witch, and she started coming from the walls of the house and was like standing over me. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing. This is a real dream. I'm not lying.
I'm not saying you are.
But yeah. Um but no, I thought that I also loved how nice the was it Norwegians or whatever where did he end up at Netherlands. Uh, he's like, oh, you all are super nice here. Like they're super friendly and super nice. Um, but yeah, no, I love them. Well, I was gonna ask you this. What's your thoughts? Is this a good first step post Endgame? Do you feel like this was a good first step
Yeah.
post Endgame?
I thought it was good. That was a good, it's the aftermath of Endgame. I mean, it's good. It's not like a feel good movie or anything, but it's a good ending of the Phase 3. Sadly, it wasn't start of Phase 4, but we do get a good Spider-Man in Phase 4 as well. But yeah, I liked it, and for what it was, I mean, I felt good about it. I didn't leave the theater or last night when I was watching it in a bad mood, or was like, man, why they waste their time making that? I felt like, yeah, it's made me want to see whatever's next, and I think it's Loki, but I'm not really sure.
Yep, it's Loki. I did like so at the end we know that Peter stops Quentin Beck. Quentin Beck dies by way of like his own stupidity, like the drone fired and shot him. But his last magic trick is to fool is to make people think that Spider-Man killed him, and also to tell people who Spider-Man is, and it's Peter Parker. And I remember in theaters marking out when I seen J. Jonah Jameson, uh, and I was like, I remember like, oh, that's big for me. That was a big thing because I immediately think the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I love seeing him pop up, man. And so I loved it, man. Now, did he do good in the next one coming up? He's okay, but this one was great. It was just great seeing him. But yeah,
the only thing I didn't like about the ending here was that they actually killed Beck. I thought he would have been part of the Sinister Six that they're planning. Maybe he still is, from another universe. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for the next one, but I know they are planning a Sinister Six film. So, but I was disappointed that they killed him. But other than that, I really thought the ending was well done. Are you still there? Nope, he's not. He's gone. Well,
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Calm down, dude. Now you're frozen. You're okay now. You're moving. Okay. Let's go ahead and shoot the dog. All right. So that's it. That doesn't mean what you think it means. Anyway.
Like you're gonna shoot a dog.
I love my dog. Oh, well. Anyway, what's your markouts for this movie?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Same here. All right. Next week we will be back and we're gonna be watching Loki. Loki's next, and we're gonna take it week by week from there. So in the meantime and in between time, Brandon, what they need to do?
All they need to, if you like the episode, is I don't want to force anyone. Click like, subscribe, and share, and comment on YouTube if you can.
Yeah, and make suggestions. But anyway, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
We are the
Markout Movie Podcasters. I thought we were saying it together. Apparently not.
It won't sync well because we're in different places, Brandon. It won't sound right. It's just the way the world works.
I hate
We're
the world.
separate, but well, so does a lot of people. But anyway, thank you for marking out with us. Bilford, thanks for tuning in as well, and everybody else to tune in. Please comment and love it and enjoy it. Next week, Loki. We're going to be watching the whole series of Loki, and we'll discuss the whole thing on that Friday. And see ya. We thank you. This is a bad ending, but this was a great episode. Peace.